Now, with Makoto's return to the demiplane, there's a massive feast that's going to be held in his honor. Apparently, his massive house has just been finished building. Looks really nice. So, I mean, what do you expect for the young master of the demiplane? Of course, he's going to get royalty. So, when he's coming in, the feast is going on, everyone's cheering him, and it looks like a grand old time. In fact, even Mio is able to bring in a couple dishes for Makoto to try out that she has perfected and he loves, and that just sends her over the moon. And she quickly leaves the event for some reason. Now, it's here that we hear from everybody else that, oh, just some adventurer that's been helping Mio cook her meals and preparing them for Makoto to eat and enjoy, which he really does like. He wasn't just saying that to be nice, he truly did enjoy them. And Mio is going back to Hikkobe to hopefully learn some more recipes. But Hikkobe, unfortunately, is going to tell Mio that she's having to depart, return to her home country that she's being summoned back to. Now, she does ask Mio if she will come with her, which she immediately rejects no. Like, she didn't even hesitate for a second. Like, Hikkobe's like, are you sure? Like, maybe your young master can come with us. And once again, Mio's like, nope. He's way too busy to come help you out. He's not going to be going there. I'm sorry, you're on your own. And Hikkobe's just like, well, you just completely shut me down. But I try, but hey, if you're ever, coming to Lorien, come check me out and maybe I can help you out with some more recipes. Mio's like, that's a very tempting offer. I'll keep you to it. So with that, the two wish each other good luck and they go their separate ways. Hikkobe going back to Lorien, the home country of hers, and Mio returning back to the demiplane. Now back in the demiplane, the feast is all over. Everyone's gone home for the night, and he's now getting a meeting from Tomoe on what she found during the investigation during the battle. She tells him that some crazy person shot an arrow into the ground that caused a massive lake, and apparently the people who saw this call it the demon. And she never tells Makoto, and the people who saw this call it the devil. And she never tells Makoto that he was the one who caused it all, because Makoto has no idea. It's just like, oh, jeez, I wonder what kind of crazy person caused that. Which I absolutely love that she's just breaking out laughing like this is totally Makoto. Like he would not recognize that he did this unless someone pointed out like, dude, you could have leveled a mountain. But he's just like, oh, it wasn't that powerful, so it is what it is. Boy, you gotta learn your strength. I thought we had learned it at this point, but he's still got a way to go, I guess, before he truly understands his entire capabilities. But regardless, she tells him the rest of the findings, and she also adds as like a side note that she also bumped into the hero from the Empire, and that she thinks is a complete scumbag, that he has a lust for power, all he sees is people as objects, and it's very likely once the demon threat is dealt with, he's going to turn the entire Empire on the rest of humanity to go conquering, which is what she's gained from his mindset. Versus the princess that was with her, she seems to have some more darker thoughts and some weapon called a gun. And that sent shivers up her spine. She almost slaughtered both the hero and the princess right there, but she thought it was better to hold off, and Makoto commends her for that, yeah, right now we'll just wait and see. Although the guns are not as powerful as magic, they can still be used as a good assassination tool. So I'm glad to hear that magic will still have a major part in this land's future. Even if guns get developed, we're still probably going to see battles being fought out with magic and all the such. So it really is interesting to see how magic and guns really interact with each other, because I don't really know if fantasy has done that well. At least not that I know of. I mean, you have Warhammer 40k, but that's more so just you can call that magic and guns, I guess, but I don't know. That the Warhammer 40k is this whole other thing. Like I want to see like an actual like medieval fantasy that's somewhat grounded and not over grandiose. I want to see how that deals with guns and magic. So if you can give me a recommendation on fantasy that I can look into that has that, appreciate it. But besides the side tangent, that's pretty much wraps up for the evening, with their plans to just wait and see and do some more investigation on the hero from the Empire and see what he develops into, along with the princess's plans. If it gets out of control, then they'll act, but right now they're just going to gather information. Now the next day comes, Makoto's outside, he's walking around checking on the fields. Apparently they've used the techniques that he had learned from his time at our world, which is producing a bumper crop every 2 weeks. Like, are you insane? Like, that's nuts. So, needless to say, they're never going to have to worry about a food storage in a demiplane, and don't have to worry about shipping goods out to the real world in order to get some goods or information. So, you should be good there. Now, one thing that Emma does bring up is that it might be time to be looking to bring some new people into the demiplane, and that Tomoe, Shiki, and Mio have all brought together some races for them bring them in for an interview to see if they should be suitable to move to the demi-plane. She also tells Makoto that he needs to stop calling her Miss and just call her Emma to demonstrate his authority. And she's really showing that she's lost her whole timidness from season 1. Emma is now a force to be reckoned with, even more so than Tomoe and Mio. So it's really going to show that she's really got a backbone going on. Now they go into the interviews. The first one goes off pretty fine, though Emma's a little annoyed because the Winkskin, they are always a flying kind of species, always up in the air. So she has to tell them like, hey, why don't you guys come down to Earth? And they immediately do. They tell they're good fighters and the land's plentiful, but they need another area where they can thrive. So Makoto brings them in, and they're somewhat useful, so they're accepted. I will say, though, that the name is kind of lame. The Wingkin, you couldn't come up with a better unique name than just that. Like, yes, I get it, they have wings all over their bodies, but you could have given them something with more personality. I'm just saying, it would have been a little bit more interesting. But I will say, I do like their design. The design is cool, so you guys get 10 points there. Now, the next species that he brings in is a little bit more pleasant on the eyes, at least in some respects. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, he brings in the Gorgons. Now, the Gorgons are not like the Greek mythology that we all know that have the snake hair and scalies. These ones apparently look quite normal human, but they do share the commonality that the only females are born in their race, so they need to go off and feed off the energy of the male populace in order to produce offspring that would only be girls. So, and unfortunately for them, like the Medusas, the original Gorgons, whenever they look at something, it turns to stone, even their food. So when Makoto is meeting them, they're having to be blindfolded before they can actually talk with him. Now, he tells them to take them off, and they're very concerned about it, but Emma's like, hey, do you doubt our master's power? And the Gorgons are like, okay, nope, we'll take it off, we'll look. And immediately upon they do, they turn the desk to stone that Makoto is using along with his paperwork. Now, Makoto, he's not fazed by that at all. He just unstones everything, even though the Gorgons are like, hey, that's not even possible, like, how can you do this? And he's like, don't worry, I got the power. We'll make some special lenses for you girls, and you'll never have to worry about that again. Although the whole male energy thing, you're going to have to go out and find some guys of your own. I mean, you maybe do some one-night stands, but don't break up any marriages that are going on here. Because I will say, these hotties have the hot bodies. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Mio or Tomoe or Emma just one night found one of them trying to sneak in Makoto's bedroom. Because they seem pretty ecstatic that he's able to undo the petrification that they do with their eyes. So watch out, Makoto. You might be getting some unexpected visitors in the evening. So these Gorgons, they pass with flying colors, although Emma's giving Makoto a hard side eye because she's like, suspicious, my man. Which is fair because, you know, the way you act in the last little bit of that episode, I think I would act the same way. I think most dudes would, but still, you would definitely deserve a sideways glance for those actions. I'm just saying right here. Now, the final group that is going to be coming in is the Almira. I think I'm saying that name right. I might have that wrong. I'm going to put that on the screen here. You guys tell me, is that right, or did I just say the name completely wrong? Probably said it wrong. But these are like little pixie, like fairy creatures. Now, apparently, they are masters of fairies. They're stronger than them, and they can even control low-level spirits. The only issue is that these things are really goofballs. They are silly little creatures. They don't really have much care in the world. And for Emma, she's just being infuriated to the 10th degree. So much so that when Makoto is about to accept them into the demi-plane, Emma just steps forward and just slams her hand down. Absolutely not. You guys are disrespectful as representatives. If you want to save yourselves from the issues that you're having with the Badgers, become stronger and fight them off, and then come back to us. Like, she's just not having it at all with these guys. So right now, they're paused for a review until a later date, which I actually enjoy seeing, because usually when you get these scenes in animes, usually every race gets accepted, welcome into the demi-plane, and no one ever gets rejected. And they weren't even really hard rejected. They were just like, you know what, we gotta review guys a little bit more just to make sure we're on the same wavelength. Now, with all the interviews wrapped up, Makoto leaves for the evening to go meet up with Shiki, Tomoe, and Emma on a balcony where they go over the creatures that have been accepted in. Shiki is getting to work right away on getting the magical items for the Gorgons ready, and Tomoe is wondering why Mio brought those silly little creatures in as her pick as a potential new race to join them. Now, I have two minds of this. first I could be thinking of this is that she only picked them off because she just want to quickly just pick a race and move on to getting to learn how to do cooking for the young master. Because I could definitely see Mio doing that. Like, yes, I went out, I did this thing for you, Emma, but now I'm back on my course for the young master. I just picked a race that I thought, might be able to serve the master. And if the worst comes to worst, I'll just eat them all. I could see that. Or two, it could be that she actually saw that these were a valuable asset because they have ability to control lesser spirits. So their ability to gather information would be very high, as Makoto just mentioned himself, without other people noticing. So that might have been what was going through Mio's mind, because we have to remember that in the previous season, there was an episode where Mio was getting to act like a spy and tapping into thought patterns, gathering information. So she might have had that thought process as well. So that would be a good addition to the demiplane. But regardless, whatever her reasons are, Mio doesn't mention them here, so we're just left to guess till later on in the season, or maybe even next season, if these little creatures ever do join the demiplane. So we'll see what happens there. But for now, we just get a nice little scene with Mio coming out with a tray of, I think these are celery and cut carrots, along with a little dish of mayonnaise that she was able to procure for Makoto. They go try it. It turns out that it's great, and everyone goes in and tries it. And Shiki says to come up how he wants it to taste in a hot pot, and just making Makoto cringe. Like, there are just some things that don't go together, and those two, I can agree, would not work well, at least in my mind. Like, maybe there's some strange person out there that likes it, and if you are someone that does like that kind of a dish, please let me know down in the comment section below, because you gotta know why, because that just sounds wrong to me. But with that, there's just two more things I want to mention to you guys, just little side notes for the episode. So one of the things that they also were talking about during the day is Shiki apparently is behind some monstrous creatures by, I'm not going to say accident. He did some experiments with spirits to see what kind of creatures he would create, but he kind of would get bored of them and let them go and just abandon his experiments. And now those experiments have turned into monstrous giant creatures, which one attacked Mio, but she just slaughtered it. And the other one that they also found was a giant crab back in season 1 that Tomoe found and dished out to the entire populace of the demiplanes and made a great meal. Apparently there's a lot more where that came from. So Shiki's going to have to go tell Tomoe and Mio about it, and he's probably going to get a little bit chewed out for it because he's not thrilled about having to tell them about his mistake at all. But now that they know, so now they have monsters that they gotta go hunt down. So it'll be fun to see how they deal with those creatures in the rest of the season. If they become a major deal, they probably won't, but I look forward to seeing if they do. Now, one last little bit here is we get a nice little scene at the academy. Apparently the 4 male students are sitting around and having lunch, and they're discussing the return of 2 new students that have a very fierce reputation in the school that have even caused some instructors to just quit their job and leave. Now, these 2 students that are coming back in, they only really deal with nice, pretty-looking instructors, so they don't really have any much fear of them bothering Makoto, because Makoto, he probably doesn't know them because he just recently came in, so they're not really too worried about that, but they had to be on their guard for the return of the Rembrandt sisters, which, if you know the history, Makoto was actually the one who ended up curing both of these girls that are now returning to the school. So it'll be an interesting dynamic. Are they rude, mean, and just an ugly people on the inside as they were on the outside before? Or are they going to show Makoto respect and honor him and be very thankful for saving their lives? It'll be interesting to see how that goes about, or if they even meet up at all in the next episode, which is heavily implying that they will. So it'll be fun to see how that goes. But you guys leave in the comment section down below. What did you think of this episode? What was your favorite part? Which one of the 3 races would you choose? Would you have rejected the little fairy guys, or would you kept them and maybe reject one of the others? I look forward to hear what you guys gotta say. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.